Okay, I think I'll go ahead and start. So, welcome this Thursday morning. Suzanne will not be joining this morning, so we'll see her next week. And it is my pleasure to be here with you this morning. For anyone that is new, just a warm welcome to you. These sessions are fully guided, about 12 to 14 minutes in length. If you would open up the chat, and you'll see the option on the drop-down menu to select everyone. So go ahead and do that. That way we can see each other's comments. And so we start every session with a question. And this morning, a word that has been coming to me a lot is receptivity, openness, allowance. Like, those are words that have just been coming to me. And so I thought I would start by saying, what might you allow for in your day today? So is there something that you want to be sure to make space for, to bring into your life in this day today? And so while you're thinking about it, I will share that I really want to make time to practice guitar. And I'm really very new. I've just been taking lessons for about a year, and I'm very much a beginner. But last week I didn't have a lot of practice time. And so I really want to allow space at some point today to get in a little bit of practice with guitar. How about anybody else? What do you want to make space for? Something that is nurturing, something that feels like it's going to be helpful to you and supportive. Time outside. I don't like the cold. And it's pretty cold. Positivity, calm. Space for this meditation. Great. Yes. I'm attending the gathering this evening. A local office whom I don't align with but want to learn. Nice. Yeah. Reading, swinging in the hammock, listening to calming music, calling mother-in-law beautiful. Space to be present and enjoy. Ah, nice. Patient. Yeah. And, may this practice support all of this, just, and that's in part what we're doing, is just cultivating this capacity to be more awake and aware and more aligned with what we need. Let's see, extended Qigong practice and some book time, seeing my mom. Nice. Yeah, really nice. So may all of it be so. And, and I think also the allowance of things that are difficult or challenging, and the capacity to bring this kind of mindful attention to those things as well. Because when things are hard, resistance usually kicks in. And part of what we're doing in the practice also is just learning to work with resistance, to know that it's there, to fully feel it, and to soften around it. And then allow that kind of softening to guide us in terms of how to work with it. And in a lot of ways, it's just a practice that helps us really align more deeply with our value system. So allowance is the theme, and I'll actually end with a poem by the poet Dana Faulds, and the poem is called "Allow," and it's one of my favorites. So let's go ahead and settle in. So seated or standing, whatever feels like it's going to be best for you this morning. If you're tired, I would say standing, eyes open, or seated, eyes open. Um, but regardless, know always that there is not one posture that's better than another, that you have options. So you have standing, you have seated, you have lying down. Lying down can be a little bit dangerous because of sleep, but you know, you have options. So just see how you're feeling this morning and go ahead and make any micro movement so that you're seated or you're standing or lying down in a way that feels supported. So holding your body in a way that is engaged, especially with seated or standing, with a spine that is straight but not stiff. Eyes can be open or closed. And take a couple deep breaths, allowing yourself to fully arrive, settling any surface tension from the morning, the activity of your morning so far. So doing a couple deep breaths, making that exhalation a little bit longer than the inhalation. So go ahead on your own. Settling in. See if you can soften the body around the spine that is holding you upright. Taking a moment to receive the sensations that the body is offering. And so you may be aware of a pulsing or a vibration, tingling, temperature, points of contact with the back of the body and the surface. So feeling from the inside out. So really bringing awareness inside the body, noticing what is being offered, and bringing that kind of allowance and receptivity, whether it feels pleasant or unpleasant. So receiving, softening, and again, to the degree that you can. And let's take a moment now to expand awareness outside the body for a moment to receive sound. So sound that may be occurring in the room or even outside of the room. And again, receptive to whatever is arising, engaging, hearing. And allowing sound to come and go or remain steady, whatever is happening in your background. Allowing for that and bringing awareness back inward to the whole body. And I'll guide us through a scan of the body, noticing any areas as we move through different regions of the body and just allowing for a softening to the degree that you're able, aware of sensation, aware of lack of sensation. So this will be a fairly quick sweep. So let's start with the feet, isolating the feet, both the left and the right, the soles, the toes, the top of the feet, the heels, including the ankles. And just seeing what's there, receiving, softening, moving up to the calves and shins, both the left and the right. And coming up to the knees, feeling from the inside out. Moving awareness to the thighs and the hips, and perhaps aware of points of contact if you're seated, and receiving the sensations you're aware of with that point of contact, or perhaps what's required to keep you upright. Moving awareness now to the torso, so the front and the back of the body, the core of the body, feeling from the inside. And what is being known? Perhaps the heartbeat. Coming up over now the shoulders and down the arms. So the upper arms and the forearms and the hands. And isolating this region in your field of awareness. And releasing and coming up now to the neck. So the front and the sides and the back. Coming up over the back of the head. And now the sides of the head, including the ears and the top of the head. Aware of sensation or a lack of sensation. And coming down now, holding the face. So the forehead and the eyes, the nose, cheeks, the jaw, the mouth. Include the inside of the mouth, the tongue and the teeth and the gums. Bringing awareness to the chin and the jaw. And see if you can soften the muscles of the face. And nothing to hold on to here. Just simply releasing any holding to the degree that you can. And releasing, bringing awareness to the whole body just for a moment. And any particular areas that are calling for your attention, let your attention go there and receive. Whether it's a cramp or an itch or any other sensation that might be making itself known, go ahead and isolate that area with a receptive attitude in the mind, simply receiving. And for the remainder of our practice, let's go ahead and find an anchor to help stabilize the wandering mind. Thoughts are not a problem. They're going to keep coming and going. We're just deciding not to engage them once we see that a thought has slipped in. Mostly these thoughts are unnoticed and then become noticed. And then you're back in the driver's seat when you see that a thought that has slipped in, you are now aware of. Simply make a soft mental note, thinking, soften the body, and escort your attention back to that stabilizer or that anchor. So that could be breath sensation anywhere in the body that you feel it most easily. So as you inhale and exhale, my tendency is kind of the abdomen belly. I feel the rise and the fall as I inhale and exhale. You could use any other sensation that you notice when you breathe, perhaps not the belly, but somewhere else that you're aware of. Let your attention track that movement, the feeling of that movement. You could also use sound. So if there is a consistent sound in your environment, you could use that. Could also use another body sensation like the palms of your hands resting on your thighs and that point of contact. The feeling would be your stabilizer. So taking a moment to just see what might serve you best this morning. And whatever you've chosen, allow that to be what you use for the remainder of our practice. And I'll periodically just ask, where is your mind? And to be lost in thought is not a problem. Just simply release the narrative, the memory, the planning, soften the body, and return to whatever anchor is useful for you this morning. Noticing where your mind is. And let the body release, soften, and return to your anchor. And as a way to close our practice this morning, I'm going to read a poem by, as I mentioned earlier, by Dana Falls. And so, what I would suggest is to move your anchor from whatever you were using, breath or sound or another body sensation, just moving the anchor to the words, tracking the words as I read this. Allow. There is no controlling life. Try corralling a lightning bolt containing a tornado. Dam a stream and it will create a new channel. Resist and the tide will sweep you off your feet. Allow and grace will carry you to higher ground. The only safety lies in letting it all in, the wild with the weak, fear, fantasies, failures, and success. When loss rips off the doors of your heart or sadness veils your vision with despair, practice becomes simply bearing the truth. In the choice to let go of your known way of being, the whole world is revealed to your new eyes. So taking a moment, if your eyes were closed, and even if they were open, to just reorient to the room you're in, take a moment to kind of look around, maybe do a little bit of a stretch. And welcome back. So we save a little bit of time at the end for anybody who has come across a resource that they would love to share. Could be a book or an app, a link, a podcast, something. So I'm going to put this, Susan, I'll put this in the chat. So that, so Dana Bald, and the poem is Allow. And she is a really gifted poet. You know, I think of her, and the book I have that I love is called Poems from the Heart of Yoga, Go In and In. It's just a little book, but it is filled with gems. I think of her as a modern day Rumi or Hafiz. You know, she's so wise, really. You know, I can almost pick this book up at any place and just open it, and she offers some wisdom. So um, I'm glad others enjoyed it. I think she's remarkable. And also, you know, sometimes poetry is not that accessible, and hers feel very accessible and relatable, which is why I really like her. So anything else? And of course, you know, any questions that anybody has about practice or this concept of allowance. Um, and of course, a book or a podcast or anything you've been listening to or watching or reading that has been inspiring that you want to share. Well, oh, Julia Louis-Dreyfus podcast, Wiser Than Me. Colleen, I loved that. Thank you for bringing that up. I loved that. In fact, I just looked to see if she had season 2 yet, and I don't think she has season 2. Um, yeah, that is such a good podcast. So Wiser Than Me, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Highly recommend. Well, we're at 8:57. So, and Janice loved the podcast as well. Yeah. Podcasts are great. I mean, there's so many of them right now that, it can get a little bit overwhelming, but when you find a good one that you connect with, they're really fun to listen to in the car, in the house. I've been really liking, um, I have several queued up that I love. Well, thank you all for joining this morning. Really good to be with you on this sunny but cold February morning. And oh, This American Life, really good too. Yeah, really good. All right, everybody. So I'll see you next week. Have a good weekend and take good care. Bye.